Another night in the garage. Let's see what's going on.
So, this is the other side. Like I said, a Z-cut. This, I'm welding. I welded this whole frame sideways. It lets your V kind of sit there and let the puddle drop in a little more. But up here, like I said, I need to move these back about 2 inches. So what I did is drilled these rivets out, welded a plate in. I welded these 2 holes and that hole, because basically that is gonna slide back. What I did is I made a little template off the back side of this guide, set it in there, and then slid it back until it hits the rivet. I can mark my hole, and then I can hole saw that, drill my holes, and now it's in a good place. If you ever weld or anything, or you live not in town, things to expect. So I ran out of welding rod the other night, and then I went and got welding rod, which is like an hour away, and then that same night, ran out of welding gas. Whenever you run out of gas, it sucks, because you're kind of not sure if your metal is dirty or why it is popping and you got porosity, and then you realize you're running out of gas.
That's why I'm not really a fan of filming on the phone, because when I don't shoot action shots, as you can see, big changes happen and you don't really get to see me doing the work. So let me show you guys. So exciting stuff. I told you I was working on this frame. Now I have room. Before I didn't have room in between the frame and the leaf spring. So, you know, I'm mainly just getting this ready to roll. I just kind of threw a couple things on it so I don't have to carry them whenever I move. And then obviously the cab's on. The one thing that kind of is a downer is there's no weight in the front. So these leaf springs are sitting up really high. The truck should be level. These are 2-inch lift springs. I'm hoping for nothing in the rear, and hopefully these aren't sagged too far. I want my truck to sit flat, and I don't really want it really high. Nothing crazy. So, all right, now we get to all this crap. So the grill, everything is off of 36, which is kind of a downer to look at, but I needed to fix this front cross member. So if you'd seen in one of the earlier videos, I had to notch this out to get the V8 to fit in here. It takes up all the space. So I bent up this 316, pick that up flat, and then what I'm gonna do is slide that down in, notch out the corners, weld that all up. That way it's still kind of got like a C-channel style cross member. That way my pulley can fit in there. A little bit of space. It's still gonna be tight. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be really tight in there. I needed to mount a fan, electric fan. This bar is already in there, and I don't know if it's just a brace, because these holes run to your headlight mounts, and it kind of helps hold your fenders up. So there is some stress there. So I just put some washers in here, like some spacers, and spaced that up so that my fan could fit really close to there. And then I just made this little angle bracket piece to hold the fan solid. Everything's solid. It just mounts to this support that's already there. I just wanted something simple. I use this fan in my 67. It works. Hopefully I can buy another one, because I would love to make sure and have another one that mounts up exactly the same. So what I did is I went ahead and welded this on, and trust me, those welds are nothing to write home about. I'm not that good at aluminum TIG, but at least now you can get the cap off. That's a positive. And it actually angles it away, because the grill bars that run up to your firewall, I needed to dodge that, because it kind of comes pretty close to there. So I got to test fit all this up in there. I need to pressure test it too. I'm just not ready to do that tonight. Welded up this front cross member. I had to notch it for this fan, and yes, it's tight, trust me. Or the pulley, not fan, but I had to notch it, and I wanted that strong because I got a couple horsepower in this truck now. Let's show you how this grill setup looks in here. So if you heard me talk about it before, this thing was so far tipped up that I couldn't even get the radiator cap off. Let me circle it around to this side. So I cut it and re-welded it out to the side. But what you do have to do, that you have to kind of work with, is angle it away from this bar, obviously. And then it has to kind of miss here. It's tight, don't get me wrong, but it turns, it gets off, it's all good. Another thing I was trying to explain to you is I had a notch right there. Not a big deal, but obviously I need a notch so that the hose can fit in there. When the radiator is black, you don't see the fan as much. Obviously it stands out because it's aluminum behind it, and the light is blasted right on it. When the light's not right there, you don't really see it that much. So all those bars kind of protect it. It's just this side's missing all its teeth. The water pump is close. This is another reason I can't run a fan. For one, no real space, but also I wanted my engine so far down that fan would just be blasting that hose, and this hose is going to be ridiculous to try to get to miss this pulley. Hopefully that belt doesn't come out to the side. Showing you some of the boxes that I've been fighting with for way too long. I tried some other techniques because I didn't have the slider on my table saw, and the table saw is not flat. I did all sorts of things. I put a new top on it. I built my own slider. I modified the slider. I made all these jigs, but the tolerance just wasn't tight enough. So on these boxes that I'll show you, I made these finger joints. Those are 1/4-inch finger joints. I wanted it to look like an old school box, and obviously it'll have a door on it that hinges. So basically on these front, that's like 9 inches and then 18 inches tall in the back. The tolerance didn't add up to as bad, but whenever you do these back here, a little bit off adds up so much that whenever you do the other, the backside panel to get it to fit, it was not lining up. So what I ended up having to do is notch one side and then butt up that panel to the other and just run it by hand through there. Not the best. The gaps are not perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. Hopefully the glue holds well. What I'm doing now is I am making up some wood putty. I saved a bunch of the fine dust from whenever I was sanding all the glue off and everything. And I'm going to mix that with some glue and fill in some of the cracks. I want all the cedar to look the same as the cedar that's in the bed. So the nice darker boxes will be cool. So hopefully these work out okay. As you can tell, it lines up with the outside. It hangs out just the slightest. I wanted it to line up with these running boards. So it all works out. Once these are done, I'm going to make a bracket that runs to the frame so that there's no way this thing can swing. And then the bracket should hold it. So this thing's not wiggling around. This one is getting glued up right now. I need to take it home because this garage is freezing cold. The glue needs to be a certain temperature, but you can kind of tell I notched the top and bottom the same, so the panels butt up. This will all get sanded down flush after it's glued up. I'm trying to decide if I want to make like a cool like GMC emblem to put on the front of all the doors. I'm not sure if that's going to be like too much. I'll tell you, like, that was a big pain. I almost gave up on it. I didn't, because that's what I wanted. I wanted these finger joints. I think the detail gives it a 30s look. And I just wanted to be able to store stuff in the side. I didn't want to make like a really crappy looking box where you just put nails in the side. For one, the nails are going to work themselves out. I didn't really want screws. I just didn't think it would look right. And I didn't really want screws and then putty over it. To me, it doesn't look good either. So this is what I want to do. I'm happy. I kept with it, but I'm seriously probably like $200 of mistakes. And you guys enjoy the truck. You know, all this custom stuff is just so slow. I can't wait to work on the 67 where it's just a bolt together kind of truck. That's why every old guy just puts bolt-ons on, because it's so much easier. instead of doing everything custom. And you know, you have a truck you've been working on for 2 decades and it's never done. So hopefully this thing is done pretty soon. I'm gonna end this video by showing you this box. I stained it. I wasn't gonna show you unless I got it all stained, but you can see all the finger joints. It looks pretty good from behind. And then it'll have a door. And then I have these hinges that will ride on there. They got a little style to them. That Danish oil walnut oak is my favorite. That's what all the wood on the truck has. And I think it'll make the truck have a vintage work truck look. So hopefully some shop that really wants a cool shop truck, because you always see people are like, oh, I got this really cool shop truck, and it's just a square body. So hopefully someone likes this truck. So later.